All right. All right, guys, this is Living the Dream podcast. I'm Sam.
I'm Tegan.
And we're short one today.
He's got that gingivitis disease or whatever.
Gingivitis disease?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
I don't know.
Plumber's disease?
Yeah.
He's got plumber's disease. That's his problem. He's got plumber's disease because he's stuck at work dealing with
water.
Drippy pipes. So our boy Joe's not going to make it today. But we've still got an exciting topic for you. I don't know if it's exciting or not. It's probably a little depressing.
It's kind of a common issue, though.
I'd say it is. There's a lot of places that deal with it, and there's probably a lot of places that have dealt with it. A lot of people have felt it, maybe. So we're going to talk about today nepotism in the workplace. We're using big words on the podcast now. We're getting fancy.
Workplace. Big one.
Yeah, workplace is a big word. So I guess this is one of those deals that we actually had a listener request this one that I think he's felt the sting of a bit of nepotism, and he was like, you know what, you guys should really talk about that. So I'm trying to look up here the old Webster. Didn't I put that in the notes? Did you have it? Oh, you looked it up. Right on. Good job, man.
The definition for nepotism is the practice among those with power or influence of favoriting relatives, friends, or associates by giving them good jobs or raises and more money and all that crap.
So it's just good old-fashioned favoritism.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right. So I guess that's my thing is like, so I guess I've heard the word nepotism thrown around, like people are like, oh, well, it's Joe gave his... Sorry, Joe. Didn't mean to use your name in that one. It just happened. It just came out that way. Joe gave so-and-so a break because he's his son. And I don't know. I guess I get kind of put off by that because sometimes the guy that I hear crying wolf about nepotism is probably the laziest fucker on the job.
He doesn't do anything. Exactly.
It's like, well, what do you expect them to do? If you're not doing anything... Of course you're not going to get the promotion. Of course you're not going to get the position.
Yeah, I mean, whenever my dad used to have a tile company and I worked for him, a lot of the employees didn't like it.
Right.
Whenever he had multiple employees, they were not a fan of it. Because, I mean, I'm not going to say my age, but I was younger. And
right.
I was working the same hours they were.
Labor laws.
Yeah. Same hours they were, or right. Longer, because my dad was my ride to work.
Uh-huh.
So we were there before them and left after them.
Right.
And for one of the guys who wasn't worth a shit, I made the same amount he did.
Right.
And he was a grown-ass man who couldn't keep up.
Well, and I've ran into a lot of stuff, too, that... I feel like when I've worked for, and because I've had several jobs where I worked side by side with my stepdad, and I feel like he was harder on my ass than than anybody else on the freaking crew. So I don't think that the whole. I guess I don't see the nepotism. I'm turning my phone on silent. Is your phone on silent?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. But I don't feel like that nepotism is. I don't know.
I think it mainly depends on the people.
So is it just one of those things that I've got nepotism stuck in my head is like it's showing favoritism towards family, and it's not that, it's...
Family, friends, and just... It's basically just family and friends.
Well, okay,
That's the way I see it, is where you've got... Say we're, I don't know, doing flooring,
right,
for an example, where you have the dad is the owner of the company.
Okay.
And then you have the son who is at the same level as just the laborers who
right.
put the floor in, everything.
Usually just shop help.
Yeah. So say that there's a certain laborer who is putting out more per square footage during the day than the son is.
Mm-hmm.
But then the son is then chosen to move up to, say, a foreman position.
Right.
And then is in charge of the other guys and tries to boss everybody around, but he wasn't doing the same amount of work.
Right.
Showing up late, leaving early. That's kind of nepotism I think of.
Okay. All right. I can see that.
Is where they take advantage of their family is in charge.
Right. Yeah. Like even like Little League Baseball a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
Coach's son.
Yeah, football, soccer, everything.
Yeah. It's my dad's a coach, man, and
So I'm gonna be the quarterback forever.
that's right. I'm quarterback forever, dude. You can't even throw a ball.
But he's a quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know. I see nepotism, and I hate that word. It's a really hard word to say.
I say more favoritism.
Favoritism. There you go. We'll use the blue collar term. It's favoritism.
Yeah. Like, I don't see it all the time. It's only with certain people. Like, some people just flat out did not deserve the position. They just got lucky. They fucked up, moved up, type of thing.
Yeah.
And then there's some people that have deserved it, and other people are pissed off because they wanted it, but they didn't do anything for it.
Right. Well, and it's one of those things too that if you want something, you've got to push for it. You've got to go that extra mile and show that you're worthy of the position if you really want it and you don't want to be overlooked. And I guess that's my thing, to where I don't lean a lot on favoritism, and I don't feel that favoritism has really affected my life, because it's one of those things that if I'm in a situation to where I feel like favoritism is kicking my butt, then just go get another damn job.
Yeah, I mean, if it's to that point, you're not going to change it.
Right. If that really is the problem, then just go find another job.
There's plenty of them out there.
100%. It's just, I don't know. I guess I don't understand getting all bent out of shape and being like, oh, well, I've watched this many people move up in front of me and I've never even gotten a shot at it. Well, probably because you're sitting around whining and boo-hooing, and dude, maybe you're just not putting forth as much effort as everybody else. Because there was a guy that I've seen before, and I was like, you know what? If he would put just half as much effort into his job as he does his bitching,
he'd be a good employee.
Dude be VP.
There are some people that their mouth works harder than they do.
That
is for
definitely.
Sure. I think it's just a people thing. Certain people do it, some people don't.
Yeah.
Like, I always got the shit end of the stick whenever I was working for my dad.
Right.
Like, I was the guy that loaded the tile in the bed of the truck when they didn't have a forklift. I unloaded it.
Yeah.
I put the tile on the tile dollies, pushed them around.
Yep.
Filled it back up, cut the tile, mixed all the
mixing up all the mud,
thin set and grout and everything. And then I'd have to go behind with a towel and basically buff the tile after you get done grouting it. That was my job.
Yeah, that's shit work.
That is the worst job. And then I have to clean the tools.
Well, hey,
learn how to clean tools really well.
Yeah. I'm with you, and I think maybe that's one of those deals that it's a character and a work ethic thing. Mm-hmm. That that's probably what instilled some of our work ethic, is that hey, I don't want to do shit job forever, so I'm gonna make sure that I show I can do the stuff other than clean damn tools.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really. Of course, I'd give my dad a hard time about, I want to do something else.
Right.
But I mean, I didn't really complain. I was getting paid. It was a summer job. I had more money than my friends did.
Exactly.
I mean, it was, all in all, I'm glad I got the shit end of the stick.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's some jobs where, it looks like you're getting the shit end of the stick, but you go to the next job and you're working harder than everybody else because you're used to it.
Exactly.
So it bumps you up. You might not realize it. Sometimes it just doesn't help you at all.
Yeah.
But you might not realize it, and you might be further along in your next job because the other one sucked. And you had to work harder than everybody else to even get noticed or mentioned in something.
Well, and that was that, and that's a good point too, because I've had several jobs to where you get there and you end up I guess the and this is going to be terrible if I screw this up, because I know I've got a Marine listener, but the Marines are all saying, so you just got to embrace the suck.
Yeah.
And I had a job that it was unair conditioned. It was absolutely filthy. I never came home from that job without smelling like oil. Yeah, I know. I'm crying to a guy that's in that same spot. Sorry, bud. But it was a stepstone job, and it got me to where I'm at now because it gave me that drive and that fight to get out of an unair conditioned, nasty job.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to only go off of favoritism in your job, where like you were the favorite and you just got moved up, you look back on it and you haven't really done anything.
Exactly.
You haven't worked for it. I mean, some people just, that doesn't bother them.
Right. Well, but and then what happens, say, for whatever reason, that company just folds up.
Yeah, you're going to have to go start from the bottom from somewhere else.
Like, well, I was a foreman there. Well, what would you do in this scenario? Oh, you don't know shit.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things too is that some of the people. Wow, that's
for $1 a day. You can save this animal.
For $1 a day, you can save this podcast. Don't forget, you can go over to the patreon.com/livingthedreampodcast.
I need some bass.
For $1 a day, you too can contribute to growing this podcast, to getting better quality video, to having better quality sound, maybe better quality content. Don't count on that shit. We'll continue to have shit like this constantly throughout the remainder of this podcast. Thank you. Moving right along. Oh, so that, you get into the shit jobs and they fold up and...
Fucking group chats.
You can mute those.
I'm taking it off.
Oh, well, that's one way of muting it, too. Oh, he's just going to throw it over there, out of frame.
Forever muted.
That's what... You're out of frame now. We no longer need to deal with you. I don't know. I mean, you could run into a lot of favoritism. And, I mean, okay, so we'll throw this out there. So you can get favoritism in a couple of different ways. So, say, you've worked with somebody in the past. Mm-hmm. Like I've got a couple of people that I worked with at a previous shop that I suggested they get a job where I'm at now. I showed them a little bit of favoritism because I know they're decent operators, but I'm also harder on them because I know they're decent operators.
You know what they can do.
Exactly.
You can tell whenever they're like, I'm not really going to do it
right.
today.
I got a text message the other day that was like, hey, this is going on. Dude, you know how to fix that. And that was my response, and I didn't hear anything else from him. I was like, quit being lazy. and that's how that conversation went. I didn't hear nothing else from him the rest of the day.
Because he probably went, yeah, he's right. No,
he's like, man, whatever. But there's a lot of operators, too, that'll sit around and they'll play on their dang phone, and I'll come by later and be like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'll be like, well, you didn't tell me what to do.
Yeah, those people.
Freaking mouth breathers.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. Favoritism in different ways where you've got some guys that, I know a couple of guys where they work their ass off, so if they show up a little bit late, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Which, I mean, that's good favoritism. I mean, that employee will work dusk till dawn if you ask him.
Right.
But sometimes he shows up 30 minutes late, 20 minutes late.
Right.
It's not a big deal because if you ask him to be there at a certain time, he'll show up.
Right. Well, and a lot of times, too, you get stuck with some of the shit jobs anyhow because, you are willing to work that late, so you're that guy that's always there all the time. So, but that's also the guy, too, that I'm going to look at later on down the road whenever I'm like, hey, I need to get somebody else in this position, move them up or something along that lines or give them a lead.
Yeah.
That's the guy I'm going to look at.
That guy's willing to work.
Right.
So, I mean, it's kind of the give and the take of working hard and showing more than what they ask for, going above and beyond, can bite you in the ass, but it can also help you in the end. Yeah.
Well, and so, let's see, what was I trying to say earlier? The favoritism aspect of it is you get, okay, so there was a guy, I was talking with the wife about this topic on the way home because I was like, I really don't know what to talk about on this because I don't have a lot of experience with it. And she was like, well, think about it this way. You get somebody gets favoritism, it's because maybe it's not just one of those deals that they're being shown favoritism. Maybe that person has just learned to play the game better than everybody else.
Yeah, they know the right people to talk to, what to say around the right person, everything else.
Right. So would that really be favoritism, or is that just having a good mindset and knowing how to work the game?
Makes you a really good bullshitter, that's for sure.
Hey, you know what? Hey, it's different skills for different people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, playing the game will get you.
Some companies you have to play the game though, or else you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, I've worked at a company like that where you have to suck up to the right person to go anywhere other than where you're at.
Right.
And it's not fun.
So, and I'm not even going to say, I'm not even like really referring to like sucking up. I'm referring to more of like, sometimes you just have to interact with some of the upper, the upper echelon. Yeah. You just got to be, there you go. That's a good way of putting it. You got to be personable. Because if you just sit there and you're like, oh, I don't want to talk to them because, you know, they're hoity-toity, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And if you do that, then yes, you're probably going to be stuck where you're at for that day forward. You didn't
make an impression.
Right.
You made an impression, but the wrong way.
Right.
Or they didn't notice you.
Exactly.
If you get noticed in the right way, I don't see it as favoritism.
Right.
I mean, you're trying to further on where you're going, so you're just another aspect of work.
Right. It's another skill set.
Ta-da.
The morning.
Bullshitting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a little bit of bullshitting that is required. I mean, it's like even like whenever my dad was talking about, you know, like the guy being able to get himself reelected time and time again as the business agent. I mean, the guy's good at what he does.
Yeah.
He's you know, as I referred to him, the silver-tongued devil.
Pretty much.
You know, I mean, you
just got to be careful. If you're good at that part, make sure you can do what you're talking about.
That's right. Yeah. Don't let your mouth outrun your ass. That's one thing that'll get you in big trouble.
In a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll notice it very quickly.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Oh, really?
Oh, really? You're just stupid."
Yeah. So you just promise a lot of bullshit and don't actually follow through with it.
Yeah, overpromise and underdeliver. I think that's the saying or whatever.
Yep. That shit'll irritate me more than anything is somebody that, like, if you tell me that you're going to do something and you don't do it, like, to me, that's just, you might as well just fucking lied to me.
Yeah, or like you say, you talk very specific about something and say you know all this and that, and then when it comes down to doing it, you ask a million questions.
Right.
Where you've talked about it like you've done it a million times.
Exactly. So, and you know, we've talked about this on the channel previously, that, you know, overselling yourself, and honestly, I'd rather somebody come to me and say, "Hey, listen, I oversold myself, and I'm a little overwhelmed, and I need some help." I'd rather somebody come to me and ask for help than to just sit over there and fucking dwindle on something forever.
Well, that's character.
And then you come to them and you're like, "Well, what have you done?" "Man, I don't know what I'm doing." "Well, then what the fuck have you been doing for the last 3 hours?"
Nothing.
Exactly.
Playing on his phone.
Yeah.
That's always fun to catch somebody playing on their phone.
Oh, Lord. I don't know.
I caught, at the job I'm working now, a guy that used to work there, me and another coworker were working on the power washer room we have.
Yeah.
Because it's got its own separate room with a boiler and everything.
Right.
It wasn't working. We got it to work, and we walked out. He was sitting in a reach fork on his phone. So we walked back around and just kind of walked around, picked up some trash, kill time, see how long he'd be on his phone.
Right.
About 20 minutes later, we stick our heads back through the wash bay door, still on his phone.
Dang.
So we turned the power washer on, and I put that, the red one on that.
The stream?
The stream. And our power washer's 3,500 PSI, and it's like 180 degrees.
Oh.
And he was in the reach fork, so I just take it and I shoot it right at the glass, and there's a spot on the glass that if you shoot right above, it'll trickle down. Like just a little drop. It won't like all the pressure at him, but it's still hot water.
Right.
It scared him. I felt really good about myself.
Yeah. There's a lot of, I had a kid at work that he was working for a contract company, and it was just we have what's called a utility, And they do, light bulb changes, emptying trash, I mean, just
so kind of like a janitor, kind of not.
Yeah, I mean, like they do basic. If they have the capability, like the guy that we have now is like, this dude is premium. And Super Dave, if you listen, I'm sorry, but he's 60s, I want to say. Maybe he's older. I don't know. The dude, all I know is if he's older than 60, I hope I have the energy he does at that age to keep doing what he does, because he is our official light bulb engineer. Because this man he changes lights, because God, they cry about lights so much. They're like, it's too dark over here, it's too bright over here. So he's either taking bulbs out or putting bulbs in, or redoing them for LEDs or whatever.
Complainers.
Yeah, they're all. But so we have a utility, and the guy that we have now is a saint. So anyhow, we go back to this other kid, and it was like pulling teeth to get him to do anything. And he was young, and it was like, he's like, well, I don't have to do that. Yeah, you do. Because you're
your job.
you're the utility for the maintenance area, so you're gonna have to do it. So we have a trash compactor. Mm-hmm. Well, there's some of the trash doesn't always make it in the trash compactor, or it falls out, or it gets dragged back by the ram or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's some of the crap is underneath there, right? Well, we have our 5S audits and all that crap. So they came around and they seen all the trash underneath it. So one of the things that we had to fix was all the trash under the compactor. And I told him, this is what you need to do. I was like, you don't have to do it all at once. I was like, because I know it sucks. It's hot outside right now. Do some of it, take a break, do some more of it, take a break, go do some other stuff inside, whatever. I'm not saying you have to get it all in one day, but this is your deadline. Mm-hmm. Hit like 3 or 4 days or something to do it.
Yeah, I mean, there can't be that much trash stuck on it.
There really was not.
I mean, it's not like you're dealing with food.
No.
Food, or
there's some paint.
Probably some drinks, maybe.
There's some paint and some drinks and stuff like that. But it's like most of it is just basic stuff.
It's not like you're dealing with mashed potatoes and gravy or something. Yeah.
So he ends up, I think that might have been the last thing he did before he finally quit.
Did he quit or forcibly let go?
No, I think he quit because he was going to go start his own power washer business. I was like, you do not have the work ethic to own your own business. But anyhow, he told me, he goes, I don't get paid enough to do that. I was like, sir, you get paid exactly the right amount to be doing that shit.
Was he joking or was he dead serious?
Oh, no, he was dead fucking serious. I was like, okay. So I called his boss and I was like, I need another utility. We're done.
I can't stand him. I mean, there's one thing about joking around where they don't pay me to think, but you do it anyways.
Right. I joke about that shit all the time. I was like, I don't get paid to think. I just do.
Yeah. But you have to think at your job?
Yes, I have to think at my job constantly. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I'm really surprised that I'm able to function mentally as much as I am right now, because my brain is cooked over the last 2 days, because I had to dig back into some training that I had it was probably close to 3 years ago, and I hadn't really messed with the equipment but maybe once or twice. And
so a lot of it was like, this might go here.
Well, I had notes, thank God. I had freaking notes.
Yeah.
So I was able to at least fall back on the notes and do some of that, but I've got some pretty badass coworkers, and they helped me through it. And once I got rolling on it, I was like, oh yeah, man, this is cool. I've got this. But it was that initial, oh shit.
This is different.
I don't remember how to do this. Oh, hey, that moved up. Sorry, a little squirrel moment there. That was not at that level before.
Ta-da!
Right on.
Yeah, no, I don't. I can kind of see it coming from like the older guys with a bunch of new guys coming in. seeing favoritism.
Right.
Because, I mean, you got the old guys that have been there for a long time who have moved up slowly, aren't in the position they want, or as high up as they wish to be. And you've got new guys that automatically are in that position.
Right.
Or they get a step below or on the same level as a guy that's been there for 10 years.
That one's hard to deal with. Like, you see somebody coming in making the same pay or better,
and you're like, well, he's younger. Which, I mean, that can only mean so much.
Yeah, I mean, so I have learned,
because I mean, I'm the young guy at the shop.
Right, and I had to swallow my pride on that one, because there was a young engineer that came to work a little bit before me, and I started dealing with him, and I'm pretty damn familiar with CNCs, and he came along and he was like, well, you need to do this, that, and the other. I was like, wait a minute, motherfucker. You're still wet behind the ears.
You don't know shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I've forgotten more than you'll ever learn.
Well, I didn't go that far, because I have learned at least a little bit to keep my damn mouth shut until I figure out what he actually does know. And it turns out that the motherfucker is pretty damn smart.
Yeah.
And he's actually ended up being one of my pretty good friends. So, but there for like first 6 months to 8 months, I did not care for him.
Fuck this
exactly.
dude.
Fuck
I don't
this
even want to
dude.
be in the same room as him.
Exactly. I don't want to smell his smarts. I don't want to be anywhere near him. But now I'm like, this dude, like, I try to do everything I can to glean some information from him.
Yeah, I mean, some people are just really smart at it, and they're there to work on what they know.
Yeah.
Some people are there to climb up and learn more. Some people are just there to do what they know.
Or just collect a paycheck.
Yeah.
People are just dumb.
Those guys are fun.
Yeah. Yeah. The favoritism aspect, I guess I don't know. I get one of those things to where I feel like it could go either way. Like, there could actually be some favoritism, or it could be that, maybe just the guy that's not actually doing anything is just being a little bit of a sourpuss. And he's like, he's pointing the finger to divert from the fact that he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to pinpoint an exact, like, this right here is favoritism. Because, I mean, it could be where, say, the owner's son, he'd been working his ass off ever since the company started.
Right.
And the last little bit, he's had to deal with family stuff, so he hasn't been there a whole lot.
Right.
New guy got hired on to help fill what he wasn't there able to do.
Right.
Because he had been off. He comes back and he's higher than him.
Yeah.
Where, as before, that guy wasn't even there.
Yeah.
So the new guy sees it as, where did he come from?
Yeah.
He hasn't been here at all. I mean, I can see it where the new guys he's the owner's son. He gets to do what he wants.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then you've also got the aspect of sometimes these guys that are new, they come in and they do know more than you. Mm-hmm. There's just
it.
Yeah, it's just it.
They're smart.
Yeah, and you don't know that because you don't know them. You didn't sit on the interview. You didn't hear what this guy has done or accomplished or knows or any of that stuff. So that's one of those things that I don't know. I feel like, although I kind of feel like we're kind of pushing this off as is just, suck it up, bitch, stop crying.
I mean, yes and no.
Yeah.
Because I've done it before where I'm like, well, where'd this fucker? Why is he getting hired? Not hired, but why is
he hired?
Why is he promoted and still here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I've had some good reason with some people why, like, what? Why is he here still? Like, I have a good question, and sometimes those leeches stick around for longer than they're supposed to.
Yeah. Like the well, hey, here you go. Here's a good example. Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy. I'm blanking.
The movie Tommy Boy?
Explain it.
So,
what year did it come out?
It's probably before you were born.
Google.
Shit. It's Chris Farley movie. David Spade. His dad, I guess.
Okay, I've seen snippets of it. I haven't seen the whole movie.
Okay.
And it was 1995.
Okay.
I was born in 2000.
Okay, so... God dang it. So, Tommy Boy basically... So, the whole deal is David...
Oh, I've seen that where his... David Spade is the guy that works in the factory and Tommy Boy comes back after jail or something like that?
I don't think that's it. I think the deal is that, like, David... Chris Farley is like just fucking flunky. He's a dropout. He's been to college. He spent like 8 years at college. Didn't really get it. I don't know if he got a degree or not. I can't remember. But David Spade was like his dad's right-hand man.
Okay, so it was a near bankrupt automobile parts factory.
Yes.
That's what it is.
And Tommy Boy was trying to go around and save the company. He's like, I'm going to save the company. And David Spade's like, you're a fucking retard. You can... Oh, I probably shouldn't have said the R word there.
Bleep.
Right. He's like, you're too stupid. There's no way that you could possibly save this company. And of course, the humor and the drama of all of it. Of course, he saves the company because it's a Hollywood film.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day... I'm sure David Spade's character was sitting there going, this motherfucker never really did anything, dropped it, like barely finished college at all, and he's taken over ownership of the company whenever I've been the owner's right-hand man and slaved away for years, and now I'm getting pushed to the side for this dipshit.
Yeah.
Which if you've seen the movie, you understand. It was freaking hilarious.
I think I've seen it before. I'm just trying to remember.
It's your homework. You have to watch it again before the next episode.
I mean, I'll watch it.
It's freaking hilarious.
At one point, didn't the car catch on fire or something like that?
So David Spade had this like gorgeous car, like convertible and all this stuff, and they're driving it around, and I think he was trying to do everything he could to avoid having Tommy Boy in there because he's just a slob.
Yeah.
And so they end up having to be in the car, and I guess at one point they hit a deer. They picked the deer up, put it in the back of the car. The deer was not dead. Deer comes back to life and like rips the top of the car to shreds and then escapes. And another point was, because I don't want to ruin all of it, another point they were at a gas station and David was trying to fill it up. He's like, I can't reach, and Tommy Boy was like, okay, I'll back it up. And I'm sure you know where this is going. The door was wide open.
Yeah,
the ball was like, yeah. So it's crap like that throughout the movie. It's pretty fucking funny.
I'm surprised I can't remember it. So, I mean, I've seen all the Happy Gilmore, Dumb and Dumber 2, and all that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't seen that movie.
Yeah. It's probably not a real popular one, but yeah, Chris Farley, he's...
Yeah, well, he's dead now.
Yeah, he's dead now. The cocaine finally got him. I mean, there's only so much of that energy that you can have before your heart just goes, bye.
Yeah, it's weird. Okay, it's weird to think.
All right, beer thoughts.
Yeah. When you're born, your heart does not stop working until you die. 24/7 for however long you live.
Dang, that's true. I never really thought about that.
Yeah. Your brain never actually like turns off or anything.
Yeah.
That's continuous working, same with your lungs.
Yeah.
So technically you never stop moving.
That's right, you're always working.
Always.
Always working.
Always on the grind.
Yeah. Dang, this. So, let's see, how do we...
I mean, Josiah's the hype man.
I know. I'm really kind of like...
He's always got those weird thoughts that go from here all the way the fuck over there.
It's true. Well, it's probably his ADD that helps with that a lot.
Yeah, he's got a lot of issues.
But hey, he helps lengthen the podcast, because I'm like sitting here looking at this, I'm like, this is going to be our shortest episode. We're like at 38 minutes right now.
Wow, geez, we need to find something else to talk about.
We really do. We need to find something else to talk about.
See, we're more of prepared people, where if we have something, we can talk for a long time.
Yeah.
But preparedness kind of went out the window on this one.
It really kind of did.
It was a long week last week.
Well, and I was Well, and we also kind of recently switched up the whole roles too, like who does what and stuff like that. Like we've all kind of like bounced around as to who selected topics, and then last week we decided that it was his idea. So I'm not trying to throw him under the bus.
Hey, I was out of town for more than half of the week.
Exactly. So there you go. So we'll give him a pass on this one.
I only worked one full day last week.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
No.
Wait, did you not have vacation to cover it?
I did.
Oh, okay.
But overtime.
Yeah.
No overtime on vacation.
Yeah.
It's just straight 8.
Especially if you miss like the entire work week. No overtime whatsoever.
Yeah, Fridays are straight overtime. That's all.
Right.
All Friday is 10 hours overtime.
Yeah.
Just because of how we're there for 50 hours, so.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah. That's pretty much the way we are. Like I've looked back at some of my paychecks, and I think even my first paycheck, I was like, man, surely I've had like just a flat 40-hour paycheck. And then I was like, oh, here's one. No, I was on vacation. Oh, here's one. No, that was vacation. Oh, here's one. No, shit, that was vacation too. I went back to my first paycheck, and I literally had overtime on my first paycheck there.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, well.
I think the only time I didn't have overtime is when I did not have vacation to use.
Right.
Which I still had like 5 hours of overtime. I think that's the lowest amount.
So how does yours work? Because I've worked at a company before too that if you use vacation, like say you have like 2 days of vacation, like say you take Monday and Tuesday off.
Yeah.
And then you work Wednesday through Friday. If you hit 40 hours, say Thursday, will Friday still be overtime, or do you have to work 40 hours before you engage into overtime?
So I'm not so sure on that one.
Okay.
Because they cut it down, like it's 8 hours is paid vacation time.
Right.
No, I think it's just, it doesn't turn into overtime.
Dang.
It's just straight time.
That's one of the things.
So it adds it on as, like, say you work 2 days out of the week.
Yeah.
That's 20, let's just say 18 and a half hours or whatever, 19 hours. And then you do the rest of the week on paid vacation, it'll add up over 40 hours.
Right.
But it won't be overtime.
That's the way it's been wherever I worked everywhere else. Where I'm at right now is it does not matter. Like 8 hours of vacation is 8 hours of pay. And I'm pretty pumped about that, because that's kind of nice, because if you take some vacation and you still end up working like 4/12s afterwards, it's still overtime.
Yeah, no, ours isn't like that.
Dang.
It'd be cool, but I mean, I'm just happy to have paid vacation.
Right. Yeah, because you work for that small company and stuff like that, you don't get paid vacation.
I mean, technically our company's small compared to others.
Well, when I was talking like working for your dad company.
Oh yeah, no. You're not working, you're not making money.
Hey, there's some trades like that, man. That's all there is to it. It's either you're
there and you're making money, or you're not there and you ain't making shit.
Yup.
Which sucks.
Yeah, I'm grateful for being an open shop guy and for the benefits that I have.
I was thinking about it. You remember like in high school and you were making $10-12 an hour and you could go out and buy stuff?
Yeah.
Doesn't really feel like it's changed. I'm making a lot more than $10 an hour now.
Right.
But it's still a money issue, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, you're still trying to figure out.
I mean, I'm paying for my outgoing is a lot more than it was in high school. That's for damn sure.
Well, yeah.
It has to be.
Well, what's the old saying? You make more, spend more.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like you ever really get a break from being broke. It's like you're just broke on a different level.
You're just broke on a different tax bracket. That's all.
Yeah.
You just get more taxes taken out, and you still have the same amount of money.
Good God. And so this beer thought continued. So I got married. Redid the W-4, right? One, it's not nearly as easy as it used to be. It used to be just like, you claim 1, you claim 2, you claim 4, whatever on your tax. No. That is not how this shit works, okay? So you have to take what your annual income is, and you enter that in. And if, like us, if you end up working an ass load of overtime throughout the year, guess what? If you based your W-4 on we'll just say your straight time income, you're going to lose your ass come tax time because you didn't pay taxes on that amount.
Yeah, so they're seeing it as free money.
Yeah, well,
but you already paid taxes on it.
Yeah. I mean, and it's great because you're like, oh, okay, I didn't have to pay this much out during the year, but guess what? Uncle Sam's still going to get his.
It's called tax fraud.
Well, no.
No.
It's not necessarily tax fraud. It's just you miscalculated. And that's what it really boils down to, because the first year that Danielle and I were married, doing our taxes sucked. Because that hurt, because I based it off, because I didn't know. I figured that they would, amortize it based off of my overtime. No. With the number you write down, you are better off at thinking, okay, I'm going to work 80 hours a week for the entire damn year.
And undercut yourself? And
undercut yourself going forward, and then at tax time, you're going to get a little bit backwards. Like this year, I think I came back I got $12.
I only paid $300 in $300 federal and like 80 state.
I think the first year, I think we paid almost
a lot more than that.
Yeah, it was a lot more than that. It fucking hurt. It sucked. I was like, oh, cool, it's our first year married because we had the kids as dependents. And I was like, oh, yeah, we're going to get a tax refund. No.
Did the taxes wrong.
We didn't get shit.
That's why you need to get a tax lady or somebody that does your taxes.
I don't think that even like a professional CPA could have unfucked what I fucked.
Oh, well.
I'm pretty sure I was just hosed on that one. It was, oops, we'll check that one into lesson learned and won't do that next year. Because I literally, after I did taxes, I went into work and I redid the entire form. And I was like, we're going to base this off of like 70 hours a week.
Yeah, let's go ahead and bump that number up. See, I know one of the guys I work with, he worked for himself.
Yeah.
And he did his taxes, and he's not very happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Working for yourself and then doing your taxes seems to bite yourself in the ass a little more than you think.
I'd like to sit down with somebody that does taxes and find out, just, because I got some questions for them.
We've got that tax lady we can talk to.
Oh, that's true, we do.
Oh.
Hey, there you go. Another guest, maybe even an in-studio guest, possibly. Sit down and ask them some questions about the business aspect.
Nobody knows how the fuck to do their taxes.
No, nobody knows how to do their taxes. Nobody knows the quick roundabout ways to get possibly more money and do it the correct way where it doesn't look like you're gonna go to jail. Right. Well, and it's like, I don't even care about getting more money. I just don't want to end up with like a monthly payment at the end of the year.
I don't want to pay anything.
Right.
Did you know that Oklahoma's thinking about getting rid of the labor tax? Not labor tax.
Sales tax?
The taxes that come out of your paycheck.
Yeah, state
taxes. Yeah.
I did not.
They talked about it. Obviously, they haven't done it yet.
No, it still takes it out.
Yep, every other week. It still disappears.
Yep, every 2 weeks.
And our roads are shitty.
Right. Where the fuck is this tax money going, Oklahoma?
Obviously not our roads.
Definitely not our roads.
And if like a turnpike, you got to pay for it every time you get on.
Yeah, but I still like the turnpike.
It is nice.
I'm not going to complain about the turnpike.
No.
Because It's that. Well, see, I take full advantage of the turnpike because there's plenty of people that are like, I don't want to pay to use the turnpike. I'm like, I will, doing 80 miles an hour on the way home and no traffic on the road. I'll take it.
Yeah, if I
will pay my 90 cents.
If I did not take the turnpike, it would add extra 15, 20 minutes to my drive.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I'm coming from way on the other side.
Well, and so even coming from just the northern part of Tulsa, for me, I have to, like, I've found back roads to get to the shortest distance between that back road to the turnpike. And I'll go down through there and then I'll be watching ahead. And if traffic starts backing up, I'm like, oh, we're moving over into the lane to get on the turnpike. And then
I go all the way around?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, and actually, no, because I take 244 over. So I'll hit that and then go over to Catoosa.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then head down that way.
That makes sense.
It's usually not that bad. There's usually always a clusterfuck in Catoosa for a little bit because nobody can figure out how to merge. Like what all right, really guys, what the hell is so hard about merging? Like they give you like a quarter of a mile ahead of time, turn your damn turn signal on, move over. It's not difficult. There's no reason we should have to come to almost a complete stop because you can't fucking merge. You don't have to be in front of everybody.
See, it goes back to whenever you turn 55 or 60, you need to go take your driver's test again.
But see, I don't even know that it's them that's doing it. I think it's just
young stupid people.
Yeah.
Well, those
They're like,
people.
oh, I have to be ahead of everybody. I gotta be first.
And they fly right in front of you.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Just want to hit them.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't feel bad at all.
Yeah, but then I'm like, shit. I like my truck.
Just put a ranch hand on the front of it. You'll be fine.
That's probably the reason why I've never put one on the front of my truck.
I put one on mine.
I'd run this shit
Fuck
out
them
of
stupid people. I'll pay my insurance. If they want to cut me off when I've got a trailer and 12,000 pounds on top of it,
well,
I will hit you.
Trailer with 12,000 pounds, a horse trailer. Like, two things, guys. The PSA announcement here. Don't tailgate a horse trailer.
Nope.
That's just rude because not only are you gonna hit the trailer, but you're jeopardizing a living being
Horsey lives.
life. Okay? So no tailgating horse trailers. Number 2, don't cut off a horse trailer. Or a guy towing 12,000 pounds. Because guess what? That is a metal missile. Mm-hmm. And they don't stop quick. Don't cut off semis either. Because they're 80?
Generally, yeah. 85 to 90, depending on your permit.
Yeah, 85 to 90,000 pounds. They will run you over, and this is another movie that you won't get the reference to, Black Dog. Okay? And he hit a bump in the road, and the guy that was riding with him said, "What was that?" He said, "A Miata." They don't notice you.
Yeah, I've talked to some truck drivers where they were like, yeah, it was easier to run this person and like hit their car than me trying to brake and go into the median or hit the cinder block wall.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna pay the insurance. Mm-hmm. I will hit that car. If they cut me off and I'm running 80,000 pounds, I'll hit them.
That's right. We will show you no favoritism whatsoever.
Yeah. Whatsoever. Free game.
That's right. Well, hey, I think we're gonna wrap this episode, and we'll maybe go behind the paywall and do a little more ranting and PSAs here. But this has been Living the Dream. I'm Sam.
I'm Tegan.
We'll see you next week. If you're late,
you're lost.